So Ramon was out there with us today. He's been, his agent has a relationship with Lou. He knows Lou, so he needed to get in shape and get his knee redone. So our guys helped him with that process. He was out in the ice today with us just because we didn't want Andy to have a whole bunch of shots. So that's the scoop there. What's up?
Will he keep working with you?
Yeah, that's a good question. No.
Mike, obviously this team doesn't have a problem generating offensive opportunities, but is it about limiting the other teams?
Well, obviously, I mean, you know, we basically base what we do on our scoring chances, and scoring chances for and against. And yet, the last two games, we feel we've given up too many shots. A lot have been, you know, goalie-type shots. They're from the outside. But last night, Andy had to make 4 bell ringers. You know, we don't like to have that happen. We like to be a little better defensively and continue to press hard when you have the lead instead of kind of getting back into a prevent defense kind of thing. So, you know, those are things we got to continue to work at.
Mike, Freddie turning it around, how important was that practice day after the Tampa Bay game, coming in here, kind of resetting him with you guys?
Yeah, I don't know if it had anything to do with the practice day. You know, to me, that's mental. Obviously, you see the goalie we traded for and the kind of goalie he is. And for whatever reason, he got off kilter and put too much pressure on himself and then wasn't able to be who he was. And so he got himself under control. And, you know, who knows if those are conversations or getting hit or what happened in practice. I don't think you ever know. You just try to do good things and believe in your people, and good things will happen. And, you know, he's our guy. We all know it, and he's done a nice job for us.
Buffalo make it tough to generate speed through the neutral zone last night, Mike, and if so, how do you get around that?
Yeah, I didn't. Well, them or us passing it to them. You know, there's two parts of that. Obviously, we had the game going unbelievably in the first, and then we turned the puck over 4 times in a row in a 38-second span, and for no reason whatsoever. And then suddenly they get their game going. I thought we had it going again in the second period, and then did the same thing. And then going into the third, we were ahead, and I thought played cautious. But you got to learn to take care of the puck, and that doesn't mean you can't make plays. You can make all the plays you want. You just got to make the right plays.
I know you talked a little bit about Zaitsev's game, but as he gets more familiar, are you seeing growth from game to game?
Well, I think just confidence in general in him. You know, I think it's like any new player coming in a new situation, especially if you're not in the same language, even though he speaks English real good. Is you come here, you were in the World Cup, you didn't have training camp, the coach wasn't here, you come here and then they're talking a mile a minute, and then you're going through a ton of stuff, and you didn't have the 8 games to kind of with the team to get ready. So then what you do is you tend to overthink, and I think anytime you overthink and it's not automatic, you're obviously not as good. But he's an impressive player, to say the least. And Jimmy Pelafito, a guy who you know, was basically in charge of delivering him here, has done a fantastic job. Now he's just got to do it every year.
Mike, tomorrow night is your Hockey Fights Cancer game. I know you've worked with cancer charities over the years. What does that initiative mean to you?
Well, I mean, a lot. You know, when my mom died of cancer, honestly, I didn't know. I was young. I didn't know anyone had cancer. And then when cancer is an interesting thing. When someone in your family gets cancer, your family gets cancer, and it affects your whole life. And when I was in the U.S., 2 of my good buddies, Mark Rippon, son Andrew was the same age as my son. I lost him to a brain tumor. And then when we were in Cincinnati, Jeff Hayden, little boy that played with my kid every day, he was 12 at the time, died of brain cancer too. So it's affected our life a lot. We decided to get very involved in it. This was kind of before we were involved so much in mental health, but my wife and I have been very involved in, you know, cancer research and raising money for kids and doing what we can. And I always have, through Sick Kids, or where in Detroit or was in Anaheim, I have a kid to every game and his parent or whatever. And it's a way to give back, but to understand. The other thing that's interesting is you're fortunate when you're in Canada and someone in your family gets it because of the healthcare system. When you're in the U.S. and you're paying the bills, it's devastating to your family. So, you know, it's a big deal, and obviously we know what Anderson's going through. Just with his wife, it affects a lot of people, and we're praying for those people, but the key is raising money and making a difference.
Given all that you've been through, when you hear a story like Craig Anderson's wife again, does it hit you each time almost? When you?
Well, I think it's you know, the research and the advancement in research has been absolutely phenomenal. The things they're able to do now, spectacular, but it's a scary, scary thing. And your life's going pretty good. You're an NHL goalie. You got a beautiful woman for a wife, and then suddenly, what's important resonates with you in a hurry. And playing in the NHL is a fantastic thing, but your family is much more important than that. And so, when it touches close to home, I think it reminds you of what's important. I think that's a big part of being involved with sick kids or whatever kind of charity you do to give back is it keeps things in perspective for you. So obviously, those people that are suffering and their families are suffering from the battle of cancer, we pray for them and wish them well. But in the meantime, we got to raise money to help them out.